Hey everyone, we are here with a very special replay analysis today. Today we're joined by the current arena leader, What How, aka BDWSSBB. Andrew, how's it going?
Good. Waking up at like 5 a.m. for this, but all is good. Happy holidays to everyone, even though I know we're past that point.
Well, there's still New Year's coming up, so... But wait, hang
Oh,
on.
yeah.
You said it's 5 a.m. right now. Does that mean you messaged me at like 2 a.m. asking to come on?
Yes, and then I slept for 2 hours.
Okay, well, I mean, that's basically what I do every night, so can't really judge that.
Oh, don't worry, I'm punctual enough with the coffee I had.
So we do have this game between current second place player FQK003. We've seen them a couple of weeks ago, or maybe more than once on this channel. And it's a game they played pretty recently against a fairly strong opponent. Didn't actually study their name, but Bentu Diaksu.
We'll say Bentu for short.
Sure, Bentu. Um, but I mean, I had a check, I had a look, they're about 650 rated, so it's a very high level game. FQK is actually sitting somewhere close to 850 elos, so within the top 10 easily. And we are on Research Institute. Um, so yeah, we're looking at this from FQK's perspective. I think there's a fairly obvious first pick. I mean, just based on the stats alone, Pavilion Build is like the best performing action card. Would you?
So yes, here's the thing. You notice we talked about the logic of, okay, if you have two of the same action cards, as in they go for the same action, in this case we have two builds,
Mm-hmm.
you might consider the third one. In this case, we're debating between, do we want to let our opponent give us have the first choice between Pavilion build and Kiosk build, in exchange we guarantee snap cards? No. Because for that to be a real consideration, one, the two cards that you're going to pass have to be relatively even in strength, and two, the card you're actually going to take and have your opponent make the decision between the other two has to actually be good. Snap cards is not one of those. So you just Occam's razor it away and take Pavilion build. The reason why we like Pavilion build or over Kiosk build in general is because the flexibility of the Pavilion
Mm-hmm.
is better than the Kiosk due to the Kiosk's restrictive placement. So if you're trying to use the Pavilion as a sort of disjoint for placing your next building, then you won't be blocked by the 3 hex rule of the Kiosk.
Yeah, I agree. And even just late game, even though you don't really want to build in the late game, but you can always build a pavilion, whereas a kiosk you just have no use for. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's mainly used as the bridge.
yeah.
Okay, so I mean, that's a pretty clear first pick. Okay, yeah, this is a tough
Ooh,
one.
that's a lot harder.
Which one would you pick out of these two?
So, I rate both of these action cards pretty highly.
Mm-hmm.
X Association is the good old reliable. It will probably give you an X token or two if you're lucky with your initial association placement. And due to how I generally play, which is I'm more likely to slow play around, association tends to float high up for round 2 as well. Assuming you're not doing a project, you're probably getting 2x tokens. However, sunbathing sponsors, I'd say, is solely the third best action card in the game in general, right behind marketing and money sponsors. You know, those infamous two that
So you actually
can win
have
games by itself.
the three sponsors as the top three.
Yes. Now, the
Wow.
reason why is on sunbathing sponsors, the unupgraded side, it's decent. It's got consistency. If you've got a fodder sponsor card, you can just toss it away for $4. If it's good for transitioning from the first break to the second or any break, so that you can get an extra $4 and from that card you're going to discard anyway. But the upgraded side is sometimes even more oppressive than money sponsors, believe it or not. When you think about it, discarding one card for 2 action power is like, hey, I'm going to discard 1 card and get 2 X tokens.
Yeah.
And the conditions to it's kind of like playing on Hollywood. Now, the conditions to actually make that work is, well, you want 2 sponsors that you want to actually play. But squeezing 1 card for 2 X tokens is like sell 1 card, get 1 action power, which is like an X token. If you want to think of a card like $4, and X token is also like $4, it's like buy 1, get 1 free. And we love our X tokens here just for the power of threats.
Yeah, I mean, when you compare it to like the T1 map where you can discard 1 card for 1 X token, this is just double that. So yeah, I do like it. For me, actually, I'm not sure which one I would pick here. I think I would personally go X token at Sos though, but you clearly on the money sponsors train, or the sunbathing sponsors train.
You can't really go wrong with either of these two. I'd say the X Association is easier to pilot and a little more consistent, but you know me, sponsor man. I love my sponsors, so I would take the sunbathing sponsors.
The other argument I could see is that these are 2 really good action cards, so you'd have to think about what the opponent actually first picked above these 2, and as you said, 2 of the highest candidates would be money sponsors or marketing sponsors.
Yeah, so they probably took one of the 2. If you want to think about it as you want, so that actually means you need to think about what you passed first. It's kiosk build, which is
It's still okay,
fine,
but it's not as good.
Yes. So I'd rather just deal with probably money or marketing sponsors and X Association, and then we actually have the card we want, or at least the one I personally keep. So I'd just take the hit.
Well, FQK agrees with you, so then we're pretty clearly picking the first 2. Opponent did actually take Mark Animals first, and they get X token of Sos back.
That's kind of in lieu with the general consensus. Most people don't put sunbathing sponsors that high compared to how I do. Everyone loves mark animals. It's all reliable. It's pesky to deal with the marks, especially when animals is upgraded.
Yeah, and it does have a good synergy with sunbathing sponsors, so it's probably just as well we actually took that away. Okay, opening hand. We do have projects of Europe, Africa, primates. I see 2 very clear picks that I think there'll be no disagreement with, 1 and 2. The next 2 are a bit more open.
So, yes, I would... Well, okay, I wouldn't say that the Agama is that much of an auto pick, believe it or not. At least not by default. Because sure, going for a round 1 project is good or reliable, but we want to see if we can high roll anything else. Well, unfortunately with this hand, maybe the sea lion, but...
There's a lot of speculative stuff, yeah. I mean, we have some speculative release projects. We have some big animals, which are more playable on this map than other maps, but...
Okay, I do find it funny that the Mandrill is triple project here, but well, the African tag, if we're gonna rush to round 1, or even round 2 if we felt like taking it slow, and the Mandrill is only worth its primates tags, which is fine. It's a path to another big project, but the problem is we do not have association priority, and even if we did, we want to do our round 1 project. There's a chance that the opponent will take the primate uni away before we have the chance.
Mm-hmm.
So you might as well just go 1-2 with the Africa, and then go with the speculations of the double releases, since speculating from the release is easier than speculating from the animal to the release.
Yeah, because you're more likely to find a matching herbivore or a bird than you are to find the 2 cards in the deck that can release the sea lion, basically. Okay, so you would go those far. We didn't even look at the end games. I don't think they're really determined. International Zoo specialized species.
Okay, International Zoo is okay. It's probably going to score 2 or 3, depending on how the game goes. Actually, if you're going with releases, I think it's
It's
ugly
going to be a lot
because
worse.
you're
Well,
just...
both these are going to be worse with releases, but sometimes there's not much you
Oh
can do
no.
about that.
Quick, is there a DAP rate? No.
Okay, Luke in chat is saying, what about medical for the discard with sunbathing?
Um, it's not worth it. It's more like if you don't have an actually good card to work with, then you take the fodder. However, you can look at the sequence of actions we want to do. Or at least, what do we want to accomplish round 1? We want to play expert on Africa, and we want to play the Agama. We'll talk more about the specifics of what should be done first a little later, but we have 4 cards we actually like, so there's no reason to keep 1/4 fodder for sunbathing sponsors. And regardless, we have a fairly high chance we're going to upgrade sponsors, which is the less picky version when it comes to sunbathing for $4.
Mm-hmm. I kind of like this, but FQK does go slightly different to what you were thinking. They do go for the obvious too. They pick the low mountain range as the better release project to speculate on, and they actually do keep the Mandrill.
Yeah, that's fair enough if you think it's double tag, so it can make the breakpoint to either 4 or 5, because even if you do lose on 5, you can at least get 4, and it's solid points, and it's Research Institute, so that means if you're only going to aim for 4, then you can shortcut by only having 2 of the tags and have cheat out one of them.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, if you actually do manage to get Primate University, it's just Primate Uni plus the Primate you get into Mandrill, and that's 4 Primates right there. So there is some appeal with that. Okay, we are first player. Have a look at the display. Anything popping out to you?
Yeah, there's one ringing the bells, and now it's hindsight that we wish we took to release migration recordings. That's the very scary card, because if it hits, which unfortunately does not happen as often in Marine Worlds due to deck dilution, but it still happens. If it hits hard. And it's also just extremely annoying for your opponent to deny releases or just sweat under anything appearing in the row. So that means we really need to draw it up somehow.
Okay, so you're suggesting build as a first action, which I think is very reasonable. So next question, would you build a 1 size or a 2 size?
This requires a lot of pre-planning. And it would be... This all comes down to, are you going to take the 2 hex reward first, or are you going to take the snapping reward first? Normally, I would prefer taking 2 hex because it's like 4 money and 2 acting power at the same time, which is quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
However, if we think we can play the release game, then we are more inclined to play this take snapping.
Right, because you just don't have a need for all those enclosures.
I would probably start with a... I would say going with the 2 size and Pavilion is the most quote-unquote neutral option you can take. Because if you want to take 2 size, that is fine. Then you can place the 2 sizes so that you can automatically get the university when you want. If you take snapping, then you can still manually do Pavilion and 2 size or Aquarium. Yeah, something like that. You just swap like 1.2 line, 1.2 line, or something like that.
Yeah. So you're gonna like, well, he does build the 1 size. Firstly, let's talk about the placement. It should just be Pavilion first, because then you get your 1 size touching water and rock. Small, tiny thing, but...
Okay, so there's a very small irony. It doesn't matter in like 99.5% of games,
yes,
but if you know that your 1 hex animal does not need rock, this is fine. Because what if you later get a 1-hex animal that needs rock, you build a 1-hex enclosure for that, touching rock, you release the 1-hex without rock from the 1-hex with rock, and now you try to release that rock animal while the 1-hex enclosure not touching rock has already been flipped.
Okay.
So then you might be able to cheat.
I regret saying that. I mean, that's a very high level and very, very unlikely scenarios that we're thinking about now. So
yes, like I said, it's not going to matter in like 99.5% of cases. But the only reason you actually have to be mindful of your 1-hex touching water or rock is if you don't actually know what you're going to play. But we know that we want to play the Agama. The Agama does not care.
FQK does not value migration as high as you do.
Hold up!
Does draw a random card, hits the Komodo Dragon, which is obviously pretty bad here. I mean, it's just straight up unplayable, but
it's fodder for the Agama.
Yeah, it can be sunbathed away, so that's not really an issue, but opponent does start by building. That would probably suggest to me that they're going to grab a university to get that X token. They build a 3 size, and they also ignore migration recording. Now, you were mentioning about the order. Would you do Agama first or Expert on Africa first? So, quick summary of the difference. If you play Expert on Africa first, your sponsors is going to be a higher strength for later on. But if you play Agama first, you get 1 extra appeal from Expert on Africa, but 1 less clever. So which one are you doing?
This comes down to what is the what's the action we would like to do after we do association? Because Expert in Africa can do some really tricky things, but you need to plan this beforehand. So we're going to do Africa and Expert on Africa and Agama in some order, and then we're going to do association because we be able to kick down cards no matter how we do it.
Mm-hmm.
But do you want to do build cards or sponsors after association? Well, regardless, we're probably doing sponsors no matter what. I don't think we want to build that much because there's not much of a need. So what you would have to do is you would have to play Expert on Africa first, kick down cards, play the Agama, and then kick down build. Then the order after you do those two is association, sponsors, cards, animals, build. That means builds last, which is what we want. Mm-hmm. So, because we probably want to do cards and sponsors more, we want to play Expert on Africa first, despite getting 1 less appeal. That's okay. We are going to hit the 5 appeal breakpoint anyway, because the difference between 5 appeal and 6 appeal for income is zilch.
That's actually a good breakpoint to know for the early game. Actually, I've honestly never thought about it like that. But I think we can tell they were going for this line because they did build before playing Expert in Africa. That could have been an option as a first move. Something else I think I'm not gonna like is they sold the low mountain range. That we expected the Komodo Dragon to go, but low mountain range gets sold as well.
I think this is because FQK is gunning for the primate.
Did you
plan.
Just say FQK or FUK?
FQK.
Okay. It's just didn't.
All right. Hopefully we don't get demonetized.
Yeah, so they want the money for the Mandrill and other expensive primates?
Yep.
Opponent does grab university.
Ooh,
just science 2 rep.
Yeah, so that means that, let's see, we should be able to beat them to the primate uni if we want.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can do sponsors, Expert in Africa, they do build 2 size or a small aquarium. We do our project get 2 sides reward, and then we can take the uni if we want. And it seems like FQK wants to, considering that they have kept the mandrill.
Yep, I agree. So we do have the next move, Expert on Africa. Just gonna clever back cards. Opponent does play a penguin pool, which is the reason they needed the Science 2 rep. So, I mean...
I wonder what sponsor they're going to play next based on the thumbnail. Uh-oh, that's actually pretty bad, though, because now they can beat us to the Primate Uni
they could totally take it this move if they wanted to.
Even if they don't take the Primate Uni, it's... Well, actually, it's not that bad, because the Primate Uni is not urgent.
Would you...
We can take it later.
Would you go totally desperation move, Pavilion plus Petting Zoo to grab it?
Oh, it's not worth it. But this now labels the issue of the plan with going Primates 4 or 5 instead of migration with releases, which is... It has the weakness of not getting the uni somehow. Now, you couldn't have foreseen the penguin pool, but in general, having releases in your hand and having migration to keep your opponent on edge gives you more options and scares your opponents into panicking and doing not so great moves. And they have the headache of guessing, do you actually have animals that you can release? What are your releases that you have to work with?
Yep. Okay, so on to the conversation, well, back to the conversation earlier. First reward. Snapping 2 sides.
If you're not going to value migration that highly, you might as well just take the 2 sides.
And then next question, upgrade or worker?
So I've seen a lot of top players going 2 CP worker a lot. I am not one of those players, because if you want to do Association again, just break 5, gain 10, upgrade sponsors, and here it can sometimes be like break 5, gain 14. Or just play sponsors and be silly. So I would just upgrade sponsors, as per usual. Nothing's changed here.
Okay, there's no extra consideration for... I guess a couple of reasons would lead me towards taking 2 Civic Worker here. Firstly, I mean, not as important, but the break is on 0 out of 9, so we're certainly going to be able to spend that worker this round. And secondly...
Yeah, we could definitely get away with it.
Yeah. Secondly, there's just the bonus for the 4th worker. I mean, unless you're planning on upgrading a SOS and getting 3 partner zoos, which is a little bit slow, especially when you only do have 1 worker at the start. But I mean...
So the reason I like upgrades more than the 2 CP worker is, okay, we will probably spend the 2nd worker. But we could also just get a uni next round, get the other uni. We'll have 2 of the upgrades. We have 1 from our 2 CP, and then we have 1 from 2 unis. Usually the convention at that point is sponsors and animals, and then animals chips away at the reputation. It'll probably take 2 activations, maybe 1 if we get to the 1 rep spot very quickly to get our 3rd upgrade, and we can usually decide between cards and association depending on what we need to be doing. Okay. So I generally like getting the upgrade first so that we have a faster path to 3 upgrades.
Does a uni on 5 change your decision at all?
Yeah, that means we are a little more biased towards taking a partnership if we can help it.
Right. Well, it's not guaranteed that we get it on 5, but we do have a nice head start.
Yeah. That's also a reason why it would have been nice to have the releases, because they're a much faster way to get to those breakpoints.
Yeah, especially to 5, yeah. They do go with the worker, which, I mean, personally, I don't hate. I think it's okay.
Yeah, we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah,
there's a cute thing you can do where you can build a 5-hex for the manager way ahead of time, or for anything, and then place the pavilion on the clever so that you get kicked down the useless animals action, then you can take a partnership or anything.
I do like that. So the small issue is that we're pretty far away from the Institute at the moment. So this Mandrill is like very, very late game at the moment.
That's fine.
Probably round 3 or 4. But yeah, it doesn't hurt to build for it, of course, while I build it. Okay, opponent is
If
building
you got your
again.
build at 5, and if you got your build at 5 and you don't really have anything to do, you might as well get your 5 enclosures over with.
Yeah, I agree. 2 size placement's weird. No, the 2 size placement looks normal to me. It's just so they can connect to the university next break. That's pretty standard. That's where I would place the 2 size. Bad news though, I mean, opponent does take Primate University.
Yep, and now we have a slight issue with our plan, because it would have been, when you think about it, it would have been really nice if we had the Primate Uni. We get 1 tag from the Uni itself. We get in some card that provides another. It's probably playable, or it's much more likely to be playable, because we have the Research Institute's power, even though we're kind of far away from it. In this case, the Ecuadorian Squirrel Monkey is extremely playable, especially if we were the ones to grab it with the automatic 2 sizes. So, darn.
Luke actually makes a good point in chat. If you're the opponent here, would you go for Primate University knowing it matches the project, or would you just go for Bird University?
Oh, no, I'm still taking the Primate Uni, just in case my opponent wants to go Primates next. And, yep, FQK does want to go Primates next.
It is a bit scary. I mean, Primates in particular, because they're all just, like, really efficient animals. Probably the scariest species to come up against, so yeah. I kind of agree with blocking it. And it is the only species project on the board, so it's not like FQK is going to grab another species university and, like, really get a benefit out of it.
Yeah, because if you want to take Bird Uni for yourself, yeah, you get something good, but so does your opponent, so you want to block their supposedly only good option.
They do upgrade animals with that. Yeah, and they got the Squirrel Monkey, which is fortunate for them because they've built a 2 size. Oh.
Huh.
That is interesting. The speculative 3 size. So, I mean, I understand the benefits of grabbing the... Well, I kind of understand the benefits of grabbing the university now. I don't really think there's a huge rush to do it, but I mean, having hand size is fine. The 3 size is a little bit odd. Speculative 3 size. Is it? Do you think it's just to get the clever now? Because they could have done the 5 size and pavilion like you suggested.
If it's nice to have 1 5 size for speculation, and then if you think that's overkill, then go for the 3 size. Or I guess if you want to justify it with that logic, then the next step is pavilion plus 5 size to cover the rep. However, I still am not a fan of this for another reason, which is we actually want to keep ourselves undeclared, quote unquote, for the university. And this is when I talk about how in Marine Worlds at least, the 2-rep university is what I like to call the neutral. Because it is very flexible. The 2-rep is useful for a lot of things. The science is useful for a lot of things. And then you can make the decision later. Do you want an animal uni or 5-hand, or in some weird cases, the 2 science?
Mm-hmm.
The 2-rep university has the most has going forward if you don't know what you're doing compared to 5-hand, surprisingly.
Yeah, I actually really agree with that, because the amount of games in Marine Worlds I find myself grabbing, if I'm grabbing 3 universities, like, it's very common I'll grab Science 2-rep, Animal University, and then double Science to activate things like a Science Museum. Like, that is extremely common for me.
Yeah, you may argue that, well, primates is the only species here, but what if you find something like a meerkat den?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Or like a penguin pool like the opponent has.
Or you just want to take Sea Animal University because, in a vacuum, fish are probably the strongest.
Also true. Okay, but Clever Back Animal's pretty natural move. Opponent does have plenty of time to do cards. They know FQK is not interested in breaking. Oh, they actually snapped the release of patterns.
Yeah, that's cute. So this does cause some issues for the opponent, though. they're telegraphing they will probably want to play it this round, which gives FQK a lot of time to cycle association back up, and which is very important when you go to CP work, because now you have 2 workers that you got to spend, and it's most ideal when you go into the next round. Association is at 5, so it can do whatever it wants, and then you have more time to cycle it back up to 5 to cash in the second worker.
Yeah, because when you have the 2 CP worker, what you just want is plenty of time in this round and next round, yeah. Okay, I mean, he's not forced to play it this round, but with 6 cards out of 3, you'd suggest that it is likely it's going to be played this round. And you can see a pretty clear move of playing the Squirrel Monkey, clevering back a Sos, and then playing it directly. Like, that seems a little bit telegraphed to me. The opponent could go for 2 CP worker. I mean, they could, but unless they have a project to do, it doesn't seem like that interesting just to get a partner zoo to me.
Yeah, the sad part. Okay, so if they're going to go to CP worker, it does have a cute interaction with X association here, which is that it's going to get an X token if you don't clever down. However, that would also mean spending an X token for release of patterns to play it, and well, you spent an X token to gain an X token.
Yeah, it's a moot point.
Always draw from deck.
Yeah, basically, I mean, it's always true, draw from deck. Science Library would have been a fantastic pickup for them.
And this is also another reason to keep yourself undeclared for a university. Science Library, regardless of if you use the science to get 2 money or an extra appeal, it's useful either way. That 2 money adds up.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like getting that science tag out of the way before they even play a science library, things like that, yeah. What is our game plan now?
Yeah, that's kind of the reason why I'm not the biggest fan of 2 CP worker, because we do cards, yeah, we get to do association, but then if we don't draw a sponsor here, then we break 5, and then our association's not as high as we wanted.
Would you just grab a Europe partner zoo? Would you grab an Africa partner zoo for the clever?
No, we need information. We need to draw 2 cards and then work our
way so you just
start
do
on
cards
that
first.
Yeah.
They go blind into Europe as the next potential project.
This is still fine in a vacuum, especially with the university on 5. But I generally like having a little bit more information to work with here. I don't value... Well, this is generally because I don't value association power as much as the average player. Because but when you're going to...
all your priority goes into...
Yeah, all went to sponsors. Yeah. The thing is, with 2 CP worker, it is understandable. And if you need to make a correction, then you just take the other partner.
Alright, I think we know... Okay, no, we know from the thumbnail opponent has the side entrance that they're going to play. Maybe that does... I'm a little bit surprised they'd upgrade animals first then, knowing they had that.
No, I still want upgrade build, even if I had a side entrance like that.
Really? I mean, if my map was looking like this, and I had a side entrance, I would be upgrading build.
It's more that's effort. You upgrade build just to get a lot of money, but then how are you going to spend the money? How are you going to get all your upgrades quickly? Left worker? Ugh.
Yeah, okay. Animals does help us help the opponent get to 5 rep very quickly. And now here you just do cards at 4.
Yeah, we need to see. We'd love to try to hit a sponsor, and we could be scared of our opponents doing the X token, but are they really going to do that after they still haven't played animals? No. But regardless, I
would do cards
still
for
value
2 reasons.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's very unlikely the opponent's going to cause the break, so leaving cards at 5 lets us see the extra card, although we don't get to keep another card, we just get to see one. But then we got to think about which action we actually want higher, and at the moment we actually might want cards higher for next round, just so we can see even more cards.
Definitely, because you do actually cards, then you do sponsor 5, we break 5, that means cards is at 2.
Yeah.
Then if we do association build, then cards is once again at 4, so we would have 4 cards to work with in total, even though we didn't get. We just need cards.
Yeah.
We don't need that one draw, one discard. We just need raw cards.
Yeah, I mean,
at the moment.
the choice is always nice, but at the end of the day, we only have 1 card in hand out of 5. We just want to see more cards. But yeah, they do break. Opponent's going to play their... Oh! To be fair, they did have a 3-size touching rock, so a jumping monkey was always a possibility. But this is just, yeah, fantastic timing for them. They get to cause the break while playing their jumping animal, get the X token.
Well, that's double trouble. 1, we lost our X token, and 2, they still have that squirrel monkey, so that's 3 primates.
Yeah, they have at least 3. And hopefully they don't have a management plan or anything. They do get to mark the member. Oh, we would have drawn into a Tambaki and Aquarium. And there's a cable car right after that. Wow, what a stacked deck at the moment.
Ooh, okay, that's kind of scary to both see when someone has a side entrance, because they're probably going to upgrade build, which means they have more flexibility on where they get to place everything. They probably fit both if they want to, but I don't think they're getting both if we somehow keep them in check. That being said, always draw. This is the painful part of not having cards in your hand. Now you need to draw from deck just to have actual options to work with in the first place.
Yeah, so all these cards alone may be snappable in certain situations, but the fact that we only have 1 unplayable card means that we absolutely cannot snap them up, even no matter how good they are. Even if it was an Amazon house, like it can't be snapped up because we just need animals to play and other things to do.
I'd also like to talk a little more about why that Langer is very good for the opponent. Yeah, I already stole the X token, but there's no dud turn that the opponent would have to deal with. Because what if previously FQK did cards 4, drew a playable sponsor, and then played the sponsor, and the opponent did not have Langer? Well, break would still be 5 away, which means what is the opponent going to do?
Yeah, well,
the little money, assuming it was the Ecuadorian squirrel monkey instead.
You'd
not a
suggest
lot.
they played the squirrel monkey and then try to get sponsors back at 5 to play their release or something along those lines.
Yeah, the opponent would be twiddling their thumbs, but the Langer has helped progress the round so that the opponent can actually do things again.
So, in normal circumstances, snappable, snappable, snappable. But we're going to draw from the deck here.
We better.
Oh my god!
Skill! All skill!
Barn Owl is actually insanely good here, and the Barn Owl, to be honest, because we need cards, so...
Alright, it's time to sack the manager. I'm sorry, but you're not participating in the Primates race ever since the
I was legitimately going to say get rid of Ornithologist, but yeah, Mandrill. Ditching Mandrill makes a lot more sense. It does go. Yeah, that's a fantastic.
And hey, about that low mountain range that we sacked.
True, that is. Well, hang on. That is also Europe number 2, by the way. But yeah, that could have been the release into Union 5 guaranteed. Yeah, that is an insane draw. Okay, game back on track. What does the opponent have? Okay, just 3rd University. So they've just forfeited the university on 5 CP. They said, I don't care about it.
Yeah, so that's not... The issue with this isn't really about the uni at 5, because, yeah, you can say, I give up, I surrender. But the other issue is, you should probably just get a partner zoo so that if the game goes a little too long, then you have 4 upgrades to work with in total.
Yeah, so this is like immediate gain for them. They get the upgrade immediately from getting the 1 reputation to get to 5. So it feels a little bit short-sighted to me.
Yeah, especially if you're just going to do animals at 5 again.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that coming that they can upgrade build, because they have the side entrance that they have build at 5 now, so it seemed like a pretty natural move.
Now's a good time to talk about side entrance and upgrading build
Go for
in
it.
general, which is in 2023, this was the hot rage. You get side entrance, you upgrade build, you flaunt your money all over, and you play elephants and donate. And now I'd rather do it naturally. You even have Pavilion built to help you, so you can chip away at the side entrance slowly but surely. Oh wait, no,
No,
that's
yeah,
us.
other way around.
Well, regardless, I'd rather try to help the side entrance bot with real enclosures or responsibilities. Let's say if we place a cable car, for example. I know it's not pleasant, but we can touch the 5 money in 1 rep spot. I know people are going to get upset that it's wasting 1 potential spot, but maximizing money from side entrance is so overrated nowadays.
Yeah, so 10
We've seen a
income
lot
may
of
be a bit excessive. We don't really need 10 all the time. Even 8 would be fine.
And that banks on you being able to spend the money, which we have seen in many replays across the months or years that's not always possible.
Yes.
Long story short, money's overrated nowadays.
I will say though,
but money sponsors is still silly.
Having a huge advantage in money can be useful when your opponent has 2 workers to your 1. Although
That's true.
The opponent is not that far away from getting a 2nd worker themselves, so I mean...
Yeah, I would just be patient.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we both agree, if there's no project, then just the partner zoo makes sense. And you just have to basically miss out on one upgraded build action. We do grab Africa Partner Zoo for the clever, I assume. Can just clever build out of the way
cute.
here. Upgrade animals, yeah.
Yep, money from the ornithologist instead, and we can think about if we want to play the Barred Owl Hut later.
Our opponent is gonna build around their side entrance.
It's fine, yeah, it's fine. Our Barn Owl gets to see 4 cards, so that should be enough for a while. And there are some really good cards. We're going to get Snapping, we're going to get either Lib, Aquarium, or Cable Car. Have fun with any of them, or all of them, depending on how much our opponent does not keep us in check.
Yep. The Owl Hut! It died.
I wouldn't do that solely because we have hand size. We can make that decision later.
I was gonna say, we also have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Oh, are we gonna play the Mamba from range as well? So the thing is, we can still afford that.
Oh yeah, that's cute, but then that means we're not doing cards, which means there wasn't really a reason to...
I still think we can do cards. I think we don't have to clever back cards, even though it's an option.
We can always make that decision based on what the Barn Owl Hut draws, but...
Yeah. Opponent does cards, so they're threatening the break next move. Although, I would say they want to play their Squirrel Monkey first, because they have exact money for it. Oh, they snapped the Cable Car, so that... Oh. So, I mean, we know a lot about the opponent's hand. They now have a Cable Car, they have a Squirrel Monkey, and they have a Release of Patterns. And one other card, basically, we can assume. It's interesting, but that...
well, Cable Car goes top right, probably, by default, if you don't find an option. Then the Aquarium, if the opponent somehow gets the Aquarium, it can go top left, bottom right on the 5 money.
Yep. Yep. Oh no. It's always draw from deck. They would have hit Big Nose.
He's not as good when the Primates Project is here, but 16 points is 16 points.
Yeah, he's still really good. He's also maybe the 4th Primate tag they need.
If desperate enough. Anyway.
Okay, we are going to see a Mamba here that is good Venom timing. That actually might just incentivize the opponent to break 5, which I think would still be okay with.
Yeah, we're fine with however the cards fall.
Okay,
This is
Mr.
when
Andrew, what are you keeping out of these? Well, let's ignore the dingo. What are you keeping out of these 3?
Okay, do I have to remind everyone why migration wins games?
Yeah, that's
But
another release.
getting back to the original question, um, just the release of the Giant Panda. I'm sorry, but the Foreign Institute is not good enough. Now we don't care that much. Like, are we really gonna hit the end game? It's gonna be 2 rep for 6 action power, and I think we can do better.
FQK agrees. Does actually clever back cards. But yeah, certainly going to take snapping. I guess if the opponent breaks now, they ensure the science library disappears, although that would probably be the 3rd priority card from this display. The Aquarium and Big Nose I'd put higher than it.
So I would, if we get away with snapping here, that would mean that the opponent did not cause the break.
Yes.
Which means that I would snap the aquarium first, then play the science library, or even the polar bear exhibit from range. Oh wait, does the polar bear? Yeah, the polar bear fits just fine.
Yeah, I mean they fill their side entrance, but definitely not an optimal move. So the Venom was very impactful. I think in most circumstances you just break 5 to stop your opponent doing a project that is visible, and then yeah.
Yeah. So I would definitely be breaking 5 solely because from the opponent's perspective, we're going to Europe too. We're probably going to snap Aquarium or Science Library, play it, and now we get to float Association back up. We have more time to work with, which is why that release of Pattern Snap is hurting, assuming the opponent did keep it.
Yeah. Okay, so now back to the question at hand. Would you do the release just to get the university and the upgrade? Or would you do just Europe too?
I would definitely be doing the release first. 2 reasons. One, we get the uni now, we get to upgrade sponsors and something else, probably cards. If you're going to do the 2 CP worker route, then that's usually the standard 3. 2, we get to get 1 card out of our hand that we want to play eventually. That means less burden on us to carry cards across the rounds. Not that it's that big of a problem when you have hand size, but then we get to the current point of could just taking a different uni instead, but that's a whole new story. Long story short, just do the release, because we also get to threaten, if we want to do Year 4, and we can do Year 4, we can do Year 4. If we draw, I don't know, a European Bison or 2 small Europeans.
Yeah. Okay, snapping the obvious choice. We are going to get, well, assuming that we take Science 2 rep, which is not guaranteed, but I would expect it is. What are the 2 final upgrades for the game?
It's sponsors and cards, because we are probably going to get a lot of passive rep across the game. We have a Giant Panda that is very playable with at least a Kaladi as a failsafe. And sponsors, look at all those 3 juicy sponsors in the row.
Yeah.
And we have sunbathing sponsors.
Sponsors gives immediate value because you can just use it to play the science library from range. So it's not really needed. I mean, the opponent is the one with the massive amounts of money. So it's not like we are just overflowing with money. And we don't need the worker from the third partners because we already took 2 CP worker to get our last worker.
In fact, another slight argument to upgrade cards, not that it's the biggest reason, but it's a side benefit. You're going to draw 1 more card on average when you do your cards actions, which is important fuel for sunbathing sponsors.
Yeah, and just important for this game in general, seeing as they're sitting on 1 card. Okay, they snap Big Nose first. Maybe they're just going to look to play these guys from range.
That is actually... Aw. Never lucky.
Kinda lucky. I mean, Aquarium just fell into range for us.
Yeah, we would have liked the polar bear as well, because then we could also consider getting the Kawadi and then playing Giant Panda more easily and getting more points and also scaring our opponent. But it's not that biggest. It's not the end of the world.
We also have Mr. King Vulture appearing, which is pretty interesting because it is playable for us as soon as we get touch the
Alright,
institute.
I already miss our Power Dial Hut. We even built a speculative 3 size for the Vulture.
Yeah. Well, it's also for the Panda, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
There is the cable car from the opponent. The opponent actually clevers back animals, considering they can't afford their squirrel monkey anymore.
So it's pretty telegraphed that our opponent is definitely going to do cards to get rid of the Venom, and they get to actually keep their cards. And then, do we think they kept release of patents?
Yes, I
pretty
think
good chance.
Sunk cost fallacy. If they snapped it up, they would definitely have kept it. That's my take on it. Okay, I assume we're building a 5 size here. Yeah, for Big Nose. This
One problem. Where's the aquarium?
well, yeah, this kills the aquarium. We can see that now. And it would also suggest we're not playing the science library. I think we may just be seeing break 5 next move. Also, that's kind of an interesting spot for the pavilion, no? I mean, I guess we can 2-size and get the card draw.
This is actually a very important placement if you want to ensure that you can auto draw during breaks. You may, whenever I play Research Institute, I'm very wary about this specific spot, because there are some games where, well, even if you start right, let's say you do the 1-1 and then 2 starting the opening build like FQK did. There are legitimate reasons why you would place your 2-hex so that you leave another 2-hex gap at the bottom. Because you'll see a lot of people place a 2-hex and there's only a 1-hex gap for the draw, and now you can't do that automatically, and that's pretty awkward and keeps your options more limited.
Yes, I feel that one. I was thinking very short-sighted. We just put the pavilion over the 5 money and then the 2 sides can connect to the Institute. And there is kind of an urgency for that to be able to play Big Nose, but we still can't play it because we're missing a primate icon anyway.
Yeah, and also going back to why we don't want to build in this action, it's because the only reason we would want to do build now is to get an X token and play both the library and the aquarium, since you can stack, I don't know, big for 2 action power, use an X token, so you get 1 more, and you can play both library and aquarium.
Yeah,
and we just killed our aquarium class, so that's not getting played.
Yeah, well,
so if you were only going to play one of them, then
you'd do that
sponsors is where it should be.
Yeah. Yeah, I did like the look of the playing aquarium from range. Opponent does do the cards which we expected. And yeah, I mean, this is pretty telegraphed that we're breaking 5 as well. Actually, oh my goodness.
Wow, that was just a hate draft.
It was, but then we built the 5 size and then got rid of it anyway. It's, wow. Okay, so I don't remember the stats exactly, but I would say FQK is a pretty heavy breaker from the looks of this game, at least. Or do we think that the side entrance money is just scaring them that they feel like they need to sunbathe everything?
The way you play against side entrance is the exact opposite of this, which is you try to get your points through sponsors, because that's a way to get free points, or at least points for very cheap if we're going to play from the round. And we also want to stay in this round because we need more cards again.
Yeah, well, but we keep selling our cards. We're down to 1 again. The thing is, it means you have very few options, and it means your opponent can track your hand very easily. Well, at least they know that there's not many threats. Alright, so immediate snap, Kawadi or King Vulture?
Depends on how paranoid are you about the Kawadi getting waved away. I think you're going to have to take the risk and snap the Vulture.
So snap the vulture
Because
and
the
look to
vulture
play
is
the
just as
Kawadi from
playable.
range.
Yeah, because we can do a 2.
That is interesting. So would there be no consideration for you building the 2 sides over the card draw?
The Research Institute's power is much more urgent, as you've mentioned. So we could, in a future build action, if we want to play that vulture, then we would need another 3 size for the giant panda, and that's a perfect opportunity to place that pavilion over there so that we can auto a draw if we want.
Yeah, but I mean, right now in this position, you wouldn't have any consideration of putting your 2 sides and drawing up the Kawadi?
Nah, I'd rather take the risk, because the reward of playing cards from row is that you get to see more cards on average, because you already got some of your options from the row, which means you can keep your opponent guessing on what you have, and you simply have more to work with.
It is something I wanted to ask because you play a lot of cards from range.
Yeah, this is how I keep my options up, and this is how... In a game where you have sunbathing sponsors, it is extra important you have fodder.
Oh.
Well, did our opponent build an aquarium?
They did, but it's not touching
It's not
rock.
touching. There is still a large aquarium spot. That's pretty ugly. That being said, it is a rock icon, so the opponent would have an incentive.
I think, yeah, we're interested because it's a Europe icon, but at the same time, now we have to take another build action to actually build the aquarium. I mean, maybe that's what this spot here is for. There is a large aquarium spot touching the Institute.
There is, and then that means you do the 2 sides to draw the... At that point, the quality, just because you're now taking 2 cards and the chance of a wave happening increases by a lot.
Well, let's also not forget the opponent still has a penguin pool played.
Oh, yeah. Ooh.
Okay, so it does feel like the,
Alright, the vulture's more important if the penguin pool's there. It doesn't feel great, but let's hope... No wave. Phew! Oh, no.
that is bad news. But it doesn't seem like opponent has a project just yet. So they won't well, okay, but it's annoying for us because we cannot snap it up. Okay, they just start with Europe Partner Zoo. Then first move, I assume we are playing the Kawadi from range. Single animal.
Yeah, just get animals out of the way, chip away at the reputation. What?
We're doing so I don't think it's to draw it up, but maybe to find a second playable animal.
Something tells me it's to hate draft that primate management plan. Well, we'll see.
It's okay. It's to draw. We actually did hit a playable dude. Unfortunately, no migration. That could have been releasable as well.
I don't want to sound like I'm bagging on not taking migration that hard, but this is why migration can win games.
Yeah, because right now we're not exactly stuck for pros. I mean, we can do 2 Europe, but it kind of feels like we're going for 4 with the Seahorse snap.
Now it's too slow, and we have a reason to block Europe too, in case our opponent gets any funny ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. The opponent's spending an X to build. Okay, they're building a pavilion, 2 size, 3 size. We don't know too much about their hand at the moment, actually. I'm not sure we know anything about their hand. Oh, we know Squirrel Monkey.
Except maybe the release of patents.
Oh yeah, true.
Still here. And
maybe a Europe icon. They have a lot of empty enclosures. It does seem like they're also going to fill map fairly soon. Well, before the end of the game at least. Alright, so then we have a very clear playing Kawadi plus Greaser. But okay, we do the
I don't know. I don't know if I would play the Grazer. I also am not sure if we want to do a project in the right now. It's not exactly a sense of urgency, and we have the slight benefit of seeing what our opponent does first.
Yeah, well, we definitely don't want them to play the Kawadi, because it's just cable car flow
Yeah.
for them.
Oh yeah, that's the main issue. What? Ah.
Alright, so obviously it's to Europe, there's no other option. Reward. 5 money, clever, worker. I can't imagine it's worker.
It should not be worker because we're already going to get our third, and not much point taking a uni, and we would only want a third worker for a second project, but we don't even have a second project. Just
but at the same
vibration.
time, I mean, we could clever just to get cards at 5 again after animals.
It doesn't feel great. And besides, it seems that we want to do all of our actions anyway.
The X.
Alright,
Okay, my
I
next
think
thinking
in a
is...
vacuum...
I think I
yeah.
can predict the next couple of moves. I think what we're going to see is Gariza Kawadi, if still available, clever back build, maybe clever back cards, clever back build, and then break 7. Like, I just have a feeling it's going to happen.
Considering you mentioned that FQK is a heavy breaker,
I'm not actually sure if that's true or not. I won't interrupt the flow of the stream. I'm not sure if that's true. There is the release. Okay. Well, the opponent's certainly not going to take 2 severe worker now, so I would assume that's going to upgrade. Maybe cards, maybe Assos, definitely one of the 2.
Probably Association, just to start chipping away.
Yeah, they get all the cheap donations and they have X token Assos, so it makes sense.
Yeah, they want their money sink unlocked as soon as possible.
However, that does leave the Kawadi here, so we're definitely playing that. Yep. There's Mr. Gariza. Into cards, then build! I knew it! I have not watched this game. I just sensed it. I knew it was coming. Okay. Then I guess at 8 CP we want the 3 size reward because we need that enclosure for the vulture or the panda.
Yeah. It's perfect timing for connecting.
Koala. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's interesting because that makes the panda playable.
All right. Well, I was gonna say that the 3 hex from 8 CP would be perfect timing to connect to the Research Institute. Question is, how are we doing that again? How are we getting to 8 CP?
Yeah, not exactly clear at the moment.
I see the primate management plan is hanging in there, but we only have 1 primate icon, so I don't know.
Well, let's see what animals here. Oh. Okay, opponent snaps up that management plan. But that... Well, we don't even need to save the X tokens because we just have 5 already, so...
Alright, break 6.
We break 7 for money. And sell Ark... I think selling Archaeologist is fine.
Yeah. It just means FQK is telegraphing he's probably going to build over the X token during the break. Probably.
Maybe. Okay, it kind of depends. No, this cannot be a large aquarium anymore, right? So I could see him building a 3 size, building a maybe 2 size, touching this rock, 3 size connecting to the Institute. Then you get the 8 CP 3 size somewhere else, like in the top corner or something. But Snap definitely Koala, like no other interesting card in hand. Maybe the Ostrich.
Yeah, keep in mind that cable car is just chilling.
Yeah, okay, yeah, good point. Yeah, I mean the Koala is just extremely good for us and for them. Ostrich is releasable, but the opponent would have to commit to building an aviary. But they do have a penguin pool, so they may want to anyway.
And it's more, maybe they play the Ostrich, but they would definitely play a Koala. That's the problem.
There's the other there's the cheat card for making the giant panda playable.
I missed my polar bear exhibit.
Yeah, would have
Not that it was our fault, but still.
would have been really damn good. Okay. Who would you say is ahead right now?
I would say from looking at this hand, it's actually bed 2.
Really?
Because we have run out of steam here. Our only way to get points is to play these big point animals, but then our association is a dud, our sponsors is a dud because we're not actually playing sponsors.
That's true. Our Asos is doing nothing right now. Would you just grab a third university? Would you just grab it like a bird university or something?
Oh no, the cute line here is to take 2 reputation, and then when you do animals, you hit the ATP breakpoint, and then you get a 3 hex, then you connect to the research.
Okay, that's an interesting idea. Right, okay, I see. And then you can play Koala plus no second animal. Oh, you could go Koala plus Reindeer, I guess. Or you could draw the Reindeer and play Koala plus Red Panda.
No.
You draw the Reindeer with this...
Good. Yeah. If you actually want to play the Panda that badly, I don't know if we want it...
I feel like the Panda's quite good here. I mean...
Yeah, it's actually...
it's
fair.
Sides.
It's a fair deal. It is nice to keep the Reindeer just so that we can keep getting points without warnings. So, yeah.
Okay, opponent just grabs Asia Partner Zoo, get their first donation. They do upgrade cards now, so I mean, they have all 4 of their upgrades. And you still think they're ahead right now. I mean, yeah, they do have clear plans. They have the primate management plan.
This is solely because we know our hand does not contain any sponsors that can give us good points. They all kind of were in the previous rounds, and we chose not to play them for some reason.
Okay, I really like this 2-rep line. I think if this was me playing, I would just grab Animal University by default, because maybe it's sort of sunk cost fallacy. I'd be thinking about a SOS strength. Like, I don't want to spend a SOS at 5 to do a strength 2 action, but it does make complete sense here. And yeah, thinking about the line for a couple of minutes, drawing up a card to put the Red Panda in range makes a lot of sense to me. Especially when you combo it with getting the 3 size at 8 CP. Like, this line seems really strong. I would definitely not have found it. Oh my goodness, he found it. Okay, with drawing a random card instead of the Reindeer, but you still have the option of playing Koala plus Reindeer.
Yeah. Wow. It's fine to not play the Red Panda just yet.
I mean, I kind of like it.
But we would like to... we do need to spend a little more time in this round, because we do cards, we'd like to hit a project, we need to build to make another 3 hex for the giant panda, presumably.
At some point, we could just play the panda in the 5 size. I'm also wondering
or the vulture.
Yeah, true, or the vulture. I'm also wondering if... Surely the ostrich is not getting played, but... Okay, or Wolverine is fantastic for the opponent. That does give them a worker and boost up a SOS, and they have the Squirrel Monkey, so they can do their management plan now. And yeah, you can see
then they can find another primate, and then they can do primates 4 at minimum.
Yeah, well, they've just immediately caught up in points, although we are about to overtake them again. They do mark the ostrich, so I think they do see the release potential there. 4 Europe in hand. Yeah, now we have 4 Europe in hand, but we already supported it at 2 last round, unfortunately. Okay, this is, yeah, that is beautiful. I'm impressed that both of you found it. Alright, so definitely Koala plus Reindeer. Oh no! Yeah. The Oscar!
Wait, no. This is actually reasonable.
Yeah, I don't think it's crazy. It does give you the extra cards to pouch, but...
Yeah, yeah, I guess if you are a little bit on edge that it's going to get released when your opponent can easily build an aviary, then yeah.
Okay, we actually take the next 2 cards from the deck, which are both rock icons. And there is Koala. That makes complete sense.
Alright, time to sack the fish. We're not building an aquarium this game.
Clever. Cards out of the... Where does Breaking 9 next move?
It's understandable. We just want to get money and then spend money.
Yeah, I kind of like break 9 into snapping up Red Panda during the break. So if I was the opponent, I'd be looking to take the Red Panda for sure.
And if we don't get the Red Panda, it's fine. We have a Mats and Tapir.
Yeah. It's just more being able to cause the next break quickly, which is the important thing. They do take snapping. It's got to only be for one thing in this display. And they do get a Barbary Macaque. Yeah, so they have their...
So that's a guarantee to Primates 4. It was already very likely. It's kind of hard to dud on that.
And they do take Red Panda, and they get 3x tokens at 5, so they'll be able to keep up with the pace here of the game. Having said that, still a 20-point lead for FQK.
Yeah, but what's our association doing?
Yeah, still no project is the main problem right now. But okay, the taper's going to be nice for helping us dig through some of this useless hand.
Yeah, but if we don't find anything after the tapir, it gets ugly. So we're kind of hoping for the vulture to bail us out. The king vulture specifically.
Another good question. Do you build and then break? Basically, do you build and let the opponent build?
Yes, because they're going to build regardless. You need your enclosures, they need their enclosures. There's no sense of urgency since there's not much you can stop.
They do. I like that. I still like that. Just thinking about, having migration, we could have released the ostrich and the Gariza, I think that's a good lesson for everyone.
If the King Vulture scavenges migration recording.
True, King Vulture could. Not extremely good odds, but... Okay, opponent does build that Aviary. They spend some X's, they get an X back.
Yeah, 1 in 6 is... Or 1 in 5 is not good odds for scavenging.
Oh, true. You can actually see how many cards are in the discard pile. 30.
It's actually closer to 1 in 6, because there will be at least 2 more cards in the display after the break. But yeah, case in point, we're probably not getting migration back. It's just funny if it happens.
Break 9, sell Vulture.
Yeah, we need money for the giant, for all these animals, presumably.
Yeah. Oh, it's a pretty barren project landscape. So I guess reindeer.
Let's see. Does our opponent? Let's just check our opponent. Okay, so they don't even have a flocker in the first place.
Well, they have the red panda, so maybe that.
Oh wait, then take llama.
Okay.
Yeah, take llama.
I kind of understand it's worth 1 more point, and like if your opponent's playing a llama, it's not that scary, I guess. But yeah, the big problem is like, are we just grabbing 2 reputation again? Are we grabbing the Animal University now? I don't know. Opponent takes the other taper. Firefish appears. Conference on Australia appears. Opponent can fill map with 1 more build action. They've only done 1 project for the game, but...
Fortunately, they've been getting their points in other ways.
Well, I mean,
projects and also sponsors.
They haven't really, because they're still 20 points behind. But yeah, they have those points coming.
They are coming.
Yeah,
but Barbary Macaque is coming and is going to annoy us.
Yeah, with the Primates 4 and then also donation. Yeah, they are going to be even.
And also getting Pilfered is, well, Pilfered doesn't hurt as much here, but we have a lot of animals. Expensive animals here.
I think the thing is we still need to build a 3-size enclosure, which is annoying. Okay, opponent actually does cards.
Or you can try to play Conference on Australia for the 3 hex.
Ah, that's cute. Oh.
Hey, it's worth 2 points for the 2 cards that's claw pouched as well.
This is also
that cute.
That's true, but then you're basically saying I am now in this round for a long time because I've just used my
Yeah,
sponsors
that's
to
kind of
play
the problem.
it.
This is
Yeah.
why it's usually better to establish your sponsors earlier than later if you can.
And then when you do build the 3 size, you do get 1 point from the pavilion, so it's kind of like washed out. But
Yeah, so unfortunately, as cute as it is, it's probably not.
okay, 2 rep or animal uni?
Uh, um, 2-rep doesn't actually do anything cute from here on, so.
And which one?
Ugh. Oh man,
Bird
these are
for the
not good
money?
options. Nothing. It's like even you're not going to high roll an eagle because even if you did, you can't fit it. And what are you gonna do with the determination? 2-rep?
Yeah, basically. Can't do
Uh,
climbing. Herbivore, you can't even high
it's
roll a rhino or anything because you can't fit them. You can't even high roll like a kangaroo or anything because they can't flock with it.
you can't high roll the giant panda because you already got the giant panda.
Yeah, no room for elephants, so herbivore's definitely not. That's tough.
Uh,
I'm gonna.
I would just. Uh,
It's 2 rep again.
yeah, it's.
Polar bear exhibit. Okay, but we can boost up a SOS to now grab an animal university, I guess.
Oh, more like boost it down.
Opponent's gonna start with their macaque. Oh, they start with the taper first.
That's fine because we can pick Gulfer later if we're the opponent.
Yes, yeah. They take the firefish. They still have their unused aquarium. Yeah, true. We really need to see the scavenge here. Like, we could scavenge migration recording or the low mountain range that got discarded. So, yeah, this is a very important king vulture. Would you play it right now just for the scavenge?
Oh yeah, we need more options. We're playing the vulture and the tapir just because what are we doing?
Okay, mountain taper first, I think makes sense. Although, okay, International Zoo actually looks okay.
Actually, mountain tapir does not make sense.
You do the scavenge first? I was thinking you could dig into a
Because
project anyway.
no, here's the thing. We are okay-ish with all the cards in our hand. So if the vulture does, then the tapir does work.
Okay.
At least the raccoon is playable in that one size.
I would suggest that we're digging away the raccoon. In terms of endgame, specialized species is actually kind of interesting with birds. Maybe that could have been a reason to grab Bird University. Specialized species endgame.
Yeah, but International Zoo is doing just fine for now. I don't think you're hitting. Are you really hitting even 3 with specialized species? Surprisingly, maybe not. Even if you took the
Well,
bird
okay,
uni,
if you take Bird Uni and play the King Vulture, you are definitely hitting 3. That's the thing.
yeah, but you would have the opportunity cost of 2 reputation.
Right. Oh, and I guess also if you found a release, then you just lose points playing it. Okay. Yeah, we do keep International Zoo. Dig, dig, dig. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Alright, scavenge, low mountain range, go. What?
I think we're just committing to the bigger point bomb now, thinking maybe if we do a cards action and find a project, we don't need to build again for the vulture. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'd rather we play the vulture just to hopefully find something, and also we like to keep our opponent on edge on what point bombs we have, if possible.
King Vulture's like a mini point bomb, I guess.
Yeah. It's very good enough to work your way, but we're not ending this game if we can't find a project, and your odds of finding a project are not high.
Okay, I mean, next question. Do we think we are building into break 7, or are we actually doing card seal?
Well, Vulture plus Reindeer is 14 more points, and then we would have 14 more to go, so...
You'd be basically looking to high roll on a snap during the break or scavenge from the King Vulture to find a project. I can understand the appeal because the
Yeah.
opponent is still a long way behind. But let's see how many points they get from this project. Oh, they actually do grab a third partner zoo, sorry.
And now's a good time for the opponent to take Clever. Oh.
I agree with that. They take 2 sides so they can fill map easier, but yeah, Clever makes a lot of sense so they don't get stuck. Because FQK
just in case.
Yeah, like
yeah,
FQK
just
could
in
end in
case.
like 2 moves with the right cards, basically. Okay, we do a very important cards action here, just drawing all from the deck at once.
Yikes.
Well, Hornbill is just okay. Playground is playable, but yeah, no project is the main thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say opponent is gonna... Well, I don't know if opponent has a sponsor, but if they don't, they're just gonna build. Oh, they have a Meerkat Den. That makes 2 size a very interesting choice.
I'm sorry. 2 size is not going to be useful here because that's only the 2 size only gets to activate once, and then
unless they have posturing 2 somewhere.
Unless they have reconstruction.
Yeah, true. Okay, I mean they could.
Oh, let's see. Maybe they do have the macaw.
Yeah, true. They could.
Oh,
they just... Yeah, okay. They just played the Meerkat Den. They took the llama. Now there's an ibex here.
Always draw from deck.
Oh, true. They would have drawn the ibex. That's funny. They all the 2 sides to be able to play it. Yeah, it's a pretty good 2 size. So now I guess we are just breaking 5 to deny the ibex.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, if we had a bit more money, it's an interesting idea to play Conference and Water Playground at the same time to get the 3 size.
Yeah.
We just don't have the
Unfortunately, ibex is making us on edge.
Yeah, there's also Herbivore releasing the discard. Yes, very true. Oh, there's the big Herbivore we can't block with again. Oh. Yeah, okay, ibex does get taken. Opponent gets to snap. The Conference, that still can't be mapful with that.
Okay. It won't, but
there's
what else
much,
is in
yeah,
this row?
Nothing else.
Yeah, who cares?
Slow Worm? Well, I will guess that they're gonna... Okay, they're not gonna build. They have the Red Panda. All right, we knew about that. And they have the Llama, I guess? Or Tarsier. These are odd animals to be... I mean, Red Panda makes sense with the Meerkat Den. The Tarsier is a bit of an odd one.
It's playable. It's fine.
It is.
It also gets an X token, which means if the opponent wants to do a project, they can do it now if they want. But then we have to go back to what's the point of the 2 size again?
Do we think they have an eagle?
They certainly are playing like they have one, or it's best to assume they have one, because you have to assume these reasonably worst-case scenarios, and it feels like whenever you're getting close, the opponent just pulls an eagle out of their coat and destroys you.
It kind of feels...
I know from experience.
We don't know the reason they built the aviary yet. Like, it could have been speculative. It could have been for the ostrich. Haven't seen the reason.
Yeah, I don't remember if the aviary was built before we played the ostrich. Well, if it was, then that's more sensible, but if it wasn't, if it was after the ostrich was built, it was probably just a nice shape to fit in there and speculate.
Well,
just like in the good old 2023 days.
They have 4 cards in hand. We know one of them is a llama and one of them is a Conference on Australia. That's about all we know. We don't know the other two. We do have to spend this action building a 3 size, which is extremely slow, but it's basically the only way that we can get close to crossing. The opponent is just going to build to fill their map. And this is the important scavenge. King Vulture first. Oh, no. This has been like disastrous. These, I don't know.
Yeah.
There've been some unlucky card draws, but I also feel like he hasn't drawn just enough cards.
I'll talk about that later.
Do keep the Agama as like the only playable thing. I guess we're gonna. Well, we have enough money to play Ibex, Hornbill, Reindeer, and that would be enough to end. Sorry, that would be 1 point short of ending. Sorry. Actually, it would be a perfect end if we play the Hornbill, boost down build, then spend 3 X's to play Reindeer, Ibex.
Yeah.
That would be a perfect end. But we lose a lot of X token points from Expert on Africa. Okay, it is on Hornbill. That might just be the play. And we get to see what opponent does. Oh, they just grab 4th Partner Zoo. And 2 rep. And donate. 83 now. How are their endgames looking? They do have side entrance. They don't have Cable Car. They don't have Meerkat Den. They don't have Penguin Pool. We have Export on Africa, which are about to disappear, I think. Okay, do you actually end here?
Let's go back to our opponent's map. Oh,
Sure.
wait, no, we... So Conference on Australia does absolutely nothing. How many cards does our opponent have?
They have 5 now. They just got one from 13 rep.
We know one's Conference on Australia. We know one's on...
One's Llama.
One's... Yeah. So the Llama... So at minimum, this, for the opponent, is 6 points, and then...
They could play the Slow Worm. That's about it. Like, worst case, they play Llama Slow Worm.
Yeah, or some posturing. Yeah, so that's the worst case. They might have a fish. Oh yeah, they have the firefish probably.
Oh yeah, sorry, they do still have the Firefish. Yes, we actually do know about that. I think they would have kept it.
Yeah, so looking at this, and how's our opponent's endgames doing? They
Just
have
side
5. You have to pray there is no eagle.
Yes. Well, I think even if there is an eagle, what's our best
I think
move?
if there's an eagle, you are boned. You were boned from the start.
If there's an eagle, our best move is like break 5, pray for Sunbear, but even then, no projects, so I don't think it even matters. Yeah, I think the best course of action is probably just end. Going into the end game with just an international zoo for 3. Wait, can we improve that? Ibex.
It may be 3. It may be 4. It depends on what our opponent. Oh wait, no.
It can only be 3.
It's 3 minimum. Australia and Asia are the lagging ones.
Yeah, Asia. Well, Asia's never getting caught up, but yeah, Australia. We don't have an Australia animal, so. All right, it is just the end. Okay, Ibex plus Reindeer to perfectly get to 100. And prediction. Eagle, yes, no?
Probably. I'm going to say yeah.
Bird of Paradise. Okay, 1 point mistake. Oh, sorry, they actually needed the 1 size, so no mistake. Bird of Paradise is great with their Penguin Pool, though. And just Firefish?
There's gotta be an eagle.
There's no eagle, okay. It's just Firefish. Llama would have also been the same.
Yeah.
There's no real difference.
Except for diverse species might be a thing, but if it's diverse species, then it's probably a cooked endgame.
Yeah, true. If the opponent has diverse species, it's only at 2 CP, so that would be great news for us. Okay, final scoring. Climbing Park for 3. 110 to 109. Wow, yeah, it's really
Okay,
good they
so
didn't get the
obviously I
Ibex.
knew the results beforehand. I was just much more interested in how we got here.
Yeah, this was just it is crazy how much it goes back to the one move at the start of the game, not drawing up migration recording.
Yeah, so when you mentioned that we've been unlucky with the cards, I hate to say it, but that was all self-inflicted based on migration recording.
Yeah, I mean, there are plenty of games where it does nothing, but I think when you have a release project in hand, it just makes sense.
And you also want to keep your options up and to get your opponent to panic. Because if your opponent sees a release that is very scary, they might have to spend a whole action just to deny it from you. And a card's action to deny you was a card's action they didn't spend to help themselves.
Yeah, Mike in chat also saying that we also sold the low mountain range very early on in the game. That would have been like the ideal project with the ostrich, freeing up the 5
Yeah,
size.
you
You can
even
play the
have
vulture
yeah, you
into
have
it.
you have a 5-hand, so you want to keep your options up. You
Yeah.
want to take advantage of the 5-hand like that if you're going to take the 5-hand unit.
To be fair, like, we did actually spend all of that money, but we would have got the money back from not having to build another enclosure.
Yeah.
What do you also think about... So only 2 sponsors played for the game. Didn't play things like Aquarium, Science Library.
Our opponent eked out just enough points from sponsors. The release of ads was not the best. Side entrance ended up doing work, but there were implied opportunity costs of upgrading build, but I'll still give it credit because it got the end game. Penguin Pool, only got 1, but it was still fine for speculation.
Yeah.
Cable car, very nice, of course. You expect cable car to pull its weight usually, and the Meerkat then at least help fill the map, but then it makes the 2 hex redundant, so maybe our opponent could have just gone X tokens or something, but regardless, it was also a crucial part for their climbing park.
Yeah, Climbing Park.
And this is why sponsors are very nice.
Yep. You won't find me disagreeing with that statement. They did... So they did 2 projects. They didn't even get their last worker. So imagine if they took last worker instead of 2 size.
Then it would have been a much closer game. Or not much closer, bigger difference, and you wouldn't have to rely on your end game as much.
Yeah.
Because if we have favorite zoo, we win.
Oh, this is the other thing. We actually never got another project to get last worker either. So 2 CP worker ended up backfiring spectacularly.
Yeah, this is generally why I don't like another reason why I don't like 2 CP worker in general, because if you flop on the projects, it is not going to end well for you.
Yeah.
Because going back to the basis on the implications of 2 CP worker, you're going to want to spend those 2 workers each round, ideally. You probably won't, but at least you want to make it halfway for your association action for the next worker. But our workers did absolutely nothing. And this was still thrown on the onus of the opponent because they did not take migration. They sold the projects that could have helped.
Yeah. I was curious about... Yeah, extremely low project game. I forget what I was going to look. Money gained, yeah, 149 to 94 is pretty substantial. Oh, sorry, sorry. We actually did get more money and spent more of it. Money spent on it was 180. That is an...
Okay, 180 is ridiculous. Where's that coming from? We only played 1 giant panda. Hold up.
I mean, there was the ostrich, which is like a 20.
Oh yeah, there was the koala.
Koala, panda, ostrich, Like, yeah,
But King
it adds
Ultra
up.
isn't even that expensive.
It does
Surely.
seem a little bit high. I mean, but things like the barn owl is 12 for a one size. I guess
Yeah,
it all
but
adds
when you
up.
look at bear, okay, yeah, I think the average of these animals is closer to like 15,
Even taper is expensive
13.
without the partner
Yeah.
thing.
Okay, yeah, that's where the money's coming from.
But cards drawn from deck, 16. The opponent only drew 6 cards from deck, and snapped 6.
That is actually kind of interesting, yeah.
But
I
we
thought the
we
opponent was
discarded
drawing
8.
like close. Yeah, that's well. Some of it is probably because of sunbathing sponsors,
I was gonna
but
say sunbathing has to be
still.
part of that number. Well, I didn't realize sunbathing would count as a discarded card. To be honest, I thought that would only be like discarding during the break.
Yeah. And they're interesting stats. I want to see the number of actions for everyone. Not like what actions they did, build actions and all that. So
Yeah, our opponent took 7 build actions. We just did not take enough cards actions. We still drew 16 cards from deck, but only 3 cards actions. And we did cause
and
4
then even
breaks.
though we did do 7 association actions, 2 of them were a
Yeah.
bit
Oh,
blank.
yeah, sorry, that's what I wanted to look up. Reputation actions too, yeah. Yeah, Strawberry, there you go. Not taking migration was the turning point from move 1. I mean, yeah, there are just some games where it does nothing, but it's just a massive safety net as well. Like, you just find one project and it can be 3 projects for you.
Because we could have released the Gareza, we get our 3 hex back, we don't have to spend the trouble building. Instead of clevering cards, we can clever build and get more cards, sunbathe more, play more sponsors, all that.
Yeah,
Good
I mean,
stuff.
and any one extra project would have been enough for FQK to win this by like 20 points at least.
And that's why you have a video about why releases are OP.
True, although less so in Marine World. Well,
They're still good, but yeah.
probably still OP, but just less frequent because of the deck dilution.
Less frequent, and also your alternatives are stronger.
Okay.
But releases are still important. I actually checked my stats recently, and I think my release average is above 1.2 for the last 100 games, which means that even though the deck is a bit diluted, I'm still close to that original 1.3 from a while ago when it was just base game.
That is still high, because I've noticed that people's release numbers have been quite a bit lower since Marine World came to Arena.
On average, I think it went from 1.3 to 1.
Yeah, something like 1 or even less than 1 I've seen. Anyway, we were talking about time before the stream started. This has gone for an hour 40.
What? Holy.
Yeah.
I did not realize I was yapping that much.
But that's good. That was a really in-depth analysis. I think we got some good information out of that. So thank you for your time, Andrew. You'll obviously be very happy to see this result, because we'll check the arena ratings at the moment, but that puts you at a massive lead right now.
I know.
So there is still plenty of time for people to catch up, but the thing is, getting to 2180 itself is a massive task that requires a lot of luck. So right now, I'd say the only person that can stop you from winning arena is yourself. So I hope for your sake.
I know. That's why I've been
trying.
I am trying not to play arena, which is why I've been playing a lot of friendlies on Map Pack 2, because Tournament 1 is one heck of a drug.
Cow is saying, watch out for Panda. Legitimately, Panda is a good enough player to win arena. All it takes
actually is in this.
Yeah, all it takes is a nice streak of wins, and you can climb very quickly. We saw that at the end of last season, right? With Rock P, the Rock God, came out of nowhere on the last day to get to like 2140 points.
And unfortunately, they went to sleep with a bad assumption.
Yes. Yeah, but it's still, honestly, it's still open, but it requires a lot of luck. So
A lot of luck, a lot of patience.
JD can also catch up. Uh,
Hmm.
yes, I mean,
Hmm.
so honest, if we're being honest, he is a good enough player,
Okay.
but I think
Okay. Yes, he can.
he's also playing other games like Terraforming Mars, but he does have a lot of Ark Nova in turn-based. But also, I don't think him playing turn-based is that good for his chances because he just kind of rushes through the games and doesn't like pay attention to each one individually, probably affecting his rating a little bit.
It's why I never do turn bets. I just do live because I keep my attention focused.
Oh, but we actually have the opposite of this actually. Don't know if you've noticed Sir Fluffy at the top here, but
Ah, yes. I know Sir Fluffy mainly does turn based.
no, what he does is plays one turn-based game at a time. And when he finishes that one turn-based game, he'll move on to the next one. He puts like complete focus into this one game.
Well, that's fair if you have kids or a job that makes a tough schedule or something.
Yeah, you can see this game started 6 days ago, and it's
Oh, it's even
about
an arena.
yeah, it's an arena game. They're on 1 point to 2 points. It started 6 days ago. Oh, but okay, this is anyway, this is a massive distraction from the original point. Yeah. Thank you all for watching. Thanks for joining me, Andrew. Best of luck for the rest of the season, and we'll see you guys on not Sunday, no stream on Sunday. We'll see you guys on Wednesday for Ark Nova Wednesday. Have a good rest of the day and good night.
Night.